Welcome back, humble traders. Today I'll be doing a technical breakdown on Baidu, ticker symbol 9888, and the one listed in New York Stock Exchange is BIDU. For those new to the channel, I focus mainly on potential traps laid up by the market makers, and I do not provide any buy or sell calls. Always remember, the stock market is never obvious. It is designed to fool most of people most of the time. Without further ado, let's take a look at Baidu. So currently, Baidu is down about 4%, and we actually do see some support coming in at the 138, 139 level. So this itself is actually a pretty good support. You can see that on two occasions, we are being supported at these levels, and buyers were coming back at 138, 139, ensuring the 140 still holds. So in the event that we do not slide down, then potentially the slight correction may be over, and then we may potentially go back to test the 150 cloud resistance levels. However, in the event that we really do pull back and have a more selling pressure in the afternoon or perhaps in the upcoming days, then we may potentially come back to retreat around 134 to 135. And if that one were to break down, then I'm looking at just below the psychological support level of 130, which is about 128 and 129. These levels here, potentially, retail investors may cut their losses just below this 130, but at the same time, this is also a pretty good support. So there may be some stop hunting at these levels here. However, we need to note that there is some gap between currently 135 to about 121. So in the event that market makers want to close this gap, then they may push the prices down all the way to 1-to-1, which I don't think will happen so soon, unless there is a very, very bad news for this particular counter, and then there's a very, very ugly red bearish engulfing candle. If not, I don't think it will happen so very soon. If you look at the volume, currently there's pretty low volume relative to this volume. And even if there's rate sell downs, the volumes of rate sell down seems to be pretty small. So it may be just a small pullback rather than a big correction. So a small pullback will tend to usually be quite healthy. So let's take a look at the Baidu, the one listed in New York. So you can see that it has a very similar pattern. Currently, we are being supported around these levels here at around 142 levels. So 142 itself is also a pretty good support. But in the event that we really do break down this 142, so where exactly are my next supports? Again, we will be hitting the 138. You can see that this happened on about 17 March. The day low was around 137.91. So we may potentially test this 137, 138, perhaps tonight or even tomorrow. And if that one really were to break down, then we may potentially slide down further after breaking these 130 psychological support levels. If we were to break these 130 psychological support levels, then we may push down all the way to perhaps around 122, which is the low of 16 March, 122.81. Not forgetting there is also this gap to be filled. But in the event that we will have to fall to these prices to fill this gap below between 110 to 120, then this stock will be very, very bearish looking. And I do hope that this correction will end very soon for 138 to 142. So let's head back to look at the Baidu listed in Hong Kong. Currently, you can see that there's still it's just before lunch hours, and currently 138 is still holding well. So in the event that we were to slide down to perhaps a 138 in the afternoon and manage to close back up with a pretty good looking candle, perhaps something like this. If we are able to close the candle with something like this, and hopefully can close about 141 to 142, then I still believe that we are safe from this 140 support. If you look at the MACD, it's currently still up, even though it lost a bit of momentum. We may potentially slide down to this orange line before trending back up again. So overall, the Hong Kong market is having a very small correction now. And hopefully, we can go above this 22.4K for the Hang Seng Index. And hopefully, with that, Baidu can actually claim back its 150 territory and eventually break out these highs of 157. And thereafter, we can break out of 160 resistance, the psychological resistance here. So, yeah, if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe as you keep the uptrend channel intact. Leave a comment below your thoughts, or if you have any other stock TA requests, to meet again. Appreciate the manipulation.